Zamalek is Zamalek in any language. You can't say Zamalek kasizulu ke ma. So there is no way that God become Jesus when he met Botswana. He become Mudimu when he meet Botswana, and he become Umenzi when he meet the Zulus, and he become Ntumbuluko Shikwembu Shatilo when he meet the Tsonga. Understand that even those who go into the black conscience, Pan-Africanism, they still carry that. Those who go into Kemet, they start to tell you that, oh, the Trinity of ancient Egypt, or Trinity come from Egypt, Osiris, Horus, and Isis, because they took on the monotheistic religion attitude, that because they choose not to eat meat and their parents eat meat, they are more better than them. African things are tribal, so therefore they are backward. Because no African culture is vegetarian, understand? Unless you biblicize that culture.
Welcome back on your channel. I'm your host Nati. Today we have Thau Thau, Haramanuba, and Zamalek Giza. But if you are new on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Let's go.
Field of study of African religion, there are three major schools of thoughts. The first school of thought is made up of missionaries who came here trying to convert Africans and convincing them that their Mudimu is the same one as Jesus. But it can't be. As I was saying, that in the principle of translation, there's one thing that you don't translate is a name. Zamalek is Zamalek in any language. You can't say Zamalek kasizulu ke ma. So there is no way that God become Jesus when he met Botswana. He become Mudimu when he meet Botswana, and he become Umenzi when he meet the Zulus, and he become Ntumbuluko Shikwembu Shatilo when he meet the Tsonga. Understand? It can be, you see. But they do that in order to Christianize the African past. That this God that we have been knowing for millions of years is actually the same Jesus. So they talk about the silent presence of Jesus in Africa. That even those who go into the black conscience, Pan-Africanism, they still carry that. Those who go into Kemet, they start to tell you that, oh, the Trinity of ancient Egypt, or Trinity come from Egypt, Osiris, Horus, and Isis. It's not a Trinity. It's a triad. Now, that triad is three people. So Trinity is that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are one. They are co-eternal, co-existence, co-substantial. They are one in everything. Now, Osiris, Isis, and Horus, they represent three different principles. So it's not a Trinity. But because they are searching for the Christian God in Africa, anything they come across, they want to Christianize it and say, Osiris is Jehovah, Jesus, Horus is Jesus, Isis is Mary. You understand? So they go on with other African divinities. Now, this is what John Mbiti did when he collected all these 300 names. But John Mbiti belonged to the second school of thought. Now, in the first school of thought, you get the likes like Max F. Muller, a German writer. He's the first one to identify the African deities with the Christian God and say, oh, all of them are God, are Jesus. But this thing, it has a colonial agenda. You understand? Because when you see your Mudimu being Jesus, now Mudimu of the Botswana, he stopped accepting things that as Mudimu within the Botswana culture he was accepting. Bo Mphoya Badimu, you know, Bo Onesa Dipula, Budingaka, Asadi accept unto it, because now he is taken on the character of the Abrahamic religion God. He's a monotheistic God. He's a short-tempered God. He does not tolerate any diversity. He's a jealous God. He's a God with petty human emotions. Worship me alone. I am God.
Do we agree that in the same things that you've said, they explain the distortion of the behavior we can see within the Rastafari? Because the Rastafari themselves, they have a behavior of what we call outcasting traditional customary knowledge that we have in Africa, whether side they belong in, and embrace Ethiopianism as supreme because it carried the ideal and the mythology of what we call Solomonic lineage and Abrahamic descendancy.
Yes.
So in that case, it is destructive and dangerous for cultural revolution. Since Rastafari, in its inception, it represented cultural revolution of people in the Caribbean islands who had to go back to Africa, who had the Back to Africa movement, who had ideas of rebuilding themselves to African cultural identity. So obviously, by explaining all this, you are giving a simple framework of that the Rastafari didn't have a what we call a scholarly system that can explain such evolution and understanding. Hence why you were outcast within the community.
Yes, well, even today, some people will find what you are saying to be very heretic because they took on the monotheistic religion attitude that because they choose not to eat meat and their parents eat meat, they are more better than them. They came up with the most negative nomenclatures like vampires, what, that African things are tribal, so therefore they are backward. So basically, they love what Bazalwana love about Africa and hate what Bazalwana hate about Africa. So, and it's creating a dilemma because some of them now, they are gravitating towards bolobola, things that before they were not doing that are found in the African culture. So they're doing them one. You understand? It's a serious identity crisis. But we were talking about the historical origin of this identity crisis, that you have a movement framed by people whose only knowledge of Africa is biblical, whose the any source of information that they have is biblical. So even when they come to Africa, they meet shamanic movement, orders like Nyabingi. By its origin, it's not a priestly order, it's a shamanic order, like Mundau, like any other African system.
African
Is
system,
shamanic.
that we have, like Kumbai in Congo.
Yeah.
It's a same as Bungoma.
Yes.
So the Nyabingi has that system truly.
Its origin.
In its origin and in its cause, as far as you have explained in one of your live, I think we were talking together about your travels in, I think, Uganda.
Uganda.
Yes,
Yeah, that's Uganda.
And then you explain how you became an outcast even in that community because you were using a name Nyabingi that was already outcast by the laws and the system of that community.
Yes.
And they have already been using what we call European restricting colonial structures, which means itself everywhere that system exists. That is why it's embedded again within the Rastas. That the Rastas themselves, they're the ones who needed to save, because what they say, they are savers of the world. They had to bring back people to their roots and to their core. And then which root are they bringing them back? Is it to smoke marijuana or to be hypely hip with the hippie culture? Because the hippies, they do smoke marijuana and have their systems on smoking marijuana. Is it the practice that they have to abstain, diet practice? Because we do have a lot of people who have diet practice. And this nutritional diet practice, we get some of them having malnutrition. And worst part within the Rastas. So what is it that they are bringing back to Africa? Is it the music that we hear from reggae? Because music itself has influenced African liberation. It has influenced African awakening and awareness. Majority of people would only use reggae music to identify things. They have sentiment with issues based on the governmental oppression or political ascension or religious belief, wherever they will find themselves.
Yeah.
So what is it that the Rastas are bringing to us?
Okay. Let's touch a few things that you touched before. The Hindu legacy in Rastafari.
Yes.
There's actually a book. I came with it from Jamaica in 2016. It's called The First Rasta. It's about Leonard Howell largely and what influenced him, and even the origin of Nyabingi, for that matter. It's called The First Rasta by Helen Lee, Now,
anyway, I was privileged to read that book, Liwen.
Yeah, yes. So there they talk about the Hindu legacy, that the ritual name of Howell used to be very close with another Hindu man called Baba Tawari. And that is where the vegetarian influence come in, because no African culture is vegetarian. I understand? Unless you biblicize that culture and said, because what Daniel Mama. Although they will consume meat, but and mostly eat mirojo and all of that, but they are not completely totally vegetarian, right? So the vegetarian influence came with Howell's relationship with Baba Tawari. Howell also, his ritual name, Gangunguru Marak, is a Hindu name. The famous teacher of great teacher of famous
Great
wisdom.
master.
And then the locks, actually, some they call them the jata. They talk about that sadhu influence, sadhu practice from India. But also there is one aspect of Rasta where the locks are influenced by the Mau Mau, because the first Rasta were Afro and bearded like Zamalek Giza, when they were like they're trying to look like Haile Selassie.
Like Howell himself, who never had dreadlocks.
He never had dreadlocks until he passed. So that is the part of the Hindu legacy. And then even Ja, it derived from Jai Rama. So, but then it changed from Jai to Ja.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next one. Let's go.